Bullshit.
Clint Hurdle's firing is almost as bad as the Pirates' record, front office, marketing, messaging, whatever. It's the No BS Marketing Show. I'm Dave Mastovich, CEO of Mass Solutions, the world's only no bullshit marketing firm. Today's podcast is about the timing of the firing of Clint Hurdle, the Pittsburgh Pirates' former manager, and how the Pirates go about their business, operations, management, leadership, marketing, sales, messaging. I guess you could say at least they're consistent because the organization is bad all around. Another unimpressive season of Pirates baseball has come to a close, and what's worse than their dismal record of 69 wins and 93 losses is how they handled the firing of club manager Clint Hurdle, who during his tenure was named National League Manager of the Year when the team made the postseason for the first time in 20 years. Now, I'm not saying that Hurdle wasn't without flaw and probably deserved to be fired, but the final home game was this past Saturday, and to end the season on a high note, the team organized some special activities over the weekend to send Steve Blass, a former pitcher, World Series hero, and Pirates broadcaster who spent 60 years associated with the team. However, the celebration of a Pirates great was overshadowed by the poor timing of the firing of Clint Hurdle. There are opportunities to learn and grow in almost every situation, and this one is a testament to that notion. The news of Hurdle's firing lends itself to a how not to be a great leader type of lesson. For as long as we can all remember, Pirates leadership in many areas has been suspect. From on-the-field performances to front office flubs and mediocre marketing, it's tough being a Pirates fan. It's obvious that the front office hasn't done great. There are lots of examples I could use here, but let's just cite a few. They turned down a chance to acquire Ryan Howard to hold on to Kip Wells. In 2003, they literally gave away Aramis Ramirez and Kenny Lofton. They recently traded Tyler Glasnow, Austin Meadows, and prospect Shane Baz to Tampa Bay for Chris Archer, who hasn't been anything greater than average. Beyond their front office fails, there's on-field management mishaps galore. We could go into those too. But this is the No BS Marketing Show, so I also have to talk about their marketing, their messaging, the Pittsburgh Pirates brand. When I look back at the last 20 years of Pirates marketing and messaging, I remember it the same way I remember the team's on-field performance. Mostly lousy, sometimes okay, and every now and then something good might sneak through for a little while. Ever feel like the message is right on the mark for the Pirates? Not really. Remember any of their promotions or the events? Get excited ever that a Pirates event is coming up during the off-season in your community? Compare that to the Steelers and Penguins. Yes, football is still king across the country and certainly in Western Pennsylvania, but the Steelers also know how to maximize that opportunity with creative messaging and promotions. The Penguins do too. And both of those teams' in-game marketing and messaging is far better too. I mean, ESPN even did a feature on what they called the Oh Mama song that the Steelers play in between at key times to get the fans fired up. Just don't get the sense of that happening. And again, I realize it's partly because the team is often stunk, but even in the playoff year and things were going well, there still wasn't tremendous marketing, tremendous messaging, tremendous during in-game music and getting the crowd fired up. It's just not on a par with the Penguins and the Steelers. The Penguins and the Steelers know how to build excitement and intrigue with their promos and commercials, whereas the Pirates kind of reinforce their schedule during their commercials by announcing games and upcoming in-game promotions. Again, just not creative messaging. Their ads aren't impactful. But I guess it's tough to get people excited when you can't string together a winning season, which brings me back to the main point, and that's leadership. What unfolded with Clint Hurdle is a microcosm of the bigger problem that the Pirates have, and that's mismanagement and poor leadership. Rather than handling both their on-field and front office problems, they focused only on Hurdle and did it with bad timing that really made no sense. Like, why do it that moment, that day, when you have the Steve Blass stuff going on? The day later just makes that much more sense, or 2 days later. The firing solidifies a fractured core of the team that's now magnified by fans' reactions. They're just mad. They're frustrated. They believe the bigger problem is with the higher-ups and not fully on the manager, although Hurdle is certainly part of the problem. What the Pirates should have done, and was easy to do, is not fire Hurdle 90 minutes prior to the final game of the season. The move showed a level of disrespect for the manager and overshadowed the Steve Blass celebrations, which further fanned the flames of the fans' fury. They also should have handled the internal drama so it didn't become external drama. Hurdle took a parting shot when he said the team needed to win more games and sell more tickets. These statements illuminated the issues between the manager and front office for all to see. Leadership creates a trickle-down effect. What happens at the top makes its way to the bottom and all the way up through, in the middle, across the organization, everywhere. And this is exactly what's happened with the Pirates organization for a long time, for decades. The inability to handle the problems head on has created a culture where winning isn't a priority, or at least it doesn't appear to be a priority, and people aren't really shown the respect they deserve, and just there's miscommunication. There's just easier, more professional, cleaner, smoother ways to handle all of their messaging, not just this one. I can go back to when the stadium opened, when PNC Park opened, there just wasn't the right type of leveraging and maximizing the opportunity from a marketing and messaging standpoint. I've watched it for decades, seen it, and just said this is not the same as what happens right next door. Throw in all that mediocre marketing that doesn't make an emotional impact. It doesn't make an emotional impact. There's no one that's remembering anything about the Pirates the way you do about the Penguins and the Steelers. And I'm not just talking about the wins. Just look at how they handle the way the whole message goes out about the team in good and bad seasons. There still is a way to make an emotional impact and resonate with your many target markets. So that's why you have an overall brand that's as weak as the team and front office. This marks the end of another episode of the No BS Marketing Show, recorded from our studios in bold, beautiful downtown Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Remember, ask yourself, what's the big idea? And build your story around the answer. It's all about bold solutions, no BS.